Hi everyone, Gemma here. Thanks for watching today. In this video I'm going to be creating a double slider card, and I'm pairing that with a new collection from Made to Surprise, Flip and See. So all the products used in today's video are from Made to Surprise, apart from some nesting dies. So I'll just go through that with you now. So we've got the Farmyard Sentiments A5 stamp set, the Farmyard Icons die set, Tops and Tails stamp and die set, barn door stamp and die set, the double slider mechanism, and as I said, some Creative Craft products nestable octagons. If you want to see these products in more detail, then I'll link to the collection video just here. You can also view that on Sam Calcott's channel, Mixed Up Craft, and she'll also be sharing the cards that she makes for the launch on her Made to Surprise channel. So depending on the style of slider you'll be making will determine how many pieces you need to cut. So in today's video I'm making a double slider, so there are some elements that'll be cut in twice. So we've got the largest square here, so that this will form the front of the card and also the back. So I've got the back piece in white and the front piece, and I've ink blended a background onto that. Then the next size down forms the matte layer. I've cut a piece in red cardstock and I've stamped it using the barn door stamp and die set. So my idea for today's card is a barn on the front, and then you slide the card open and there'll be more of a scene and more of the animals. So I've cut that, as I said, once in red and once in white. So this white piece will be sandwiched between our slider layers. It'll all become clearer as we move along, but I just wanted to let you know how many pieces you need to cut. This next piece then, with the two slits either side, is for the mechanism, and I've got two pieces of those. If you're doing a single slider, you just want one. If you're doing a quadruple, you need 4. Then you need 2 pieces of this strip here, so this helps form the mechanism and helps the pieces slide in and out. This piece here is the stand. I'm just going to reinforce the score lines on that, but it's a pretty straightforward fold on there. And then lastly, I've cut the slider elements. So got this stitch detail die here, so I've cut that twice, and then the matte layer, I've cut that in white, and I've ink blended the background to follow on from the front piece. So I hope that explains all the pieces that you need to cut, and we'll get into the assembly now. So let's start on the front of our card. So I've got my largest square here and the matte layer. So I cut this in white, ink blended the background. You've seen me do this background before. I've just used my own stencil that I've cut in cardstock, 2 different edges either side, and just flip them over. For the hills, I've just cut a piece of cardstock and cut a hill shape through the bottom. So first of all, I use this one to create the hills, and then I use this to cover up the hill stencil while I was ink blending the clouds. I've got my matte layer in the red cardstock, and I used VersaFine Clear Tulip Red to stamp on the wood grain effect. Hopefully you can see that okay. So using my nesting dies, I've taken 2 octagons and I've tacked them together with tape to create this frame. Then I cut that in white cardstock and I've trimmed it down. So this is going to form the roof of our barn. I've then taken this die from the Farmyard Icons die set, and I've trimmed this down. So I've trimmed these 3 pieces away and that piece there, and I've attached 2 together to create the barn door, like so. I've also used it to create the window, so I've cut away these edges here and on the inside, and then created this window there. Then using this edge die, I've cut some grass, and that's going to go on the front there. So what I'm going to do is glue the white piece to the red and trim it away, glue the rest down, pop the grass up onto some foam, and then attach it to our sky and grass background. Granted, it was a bit of overkill to ink all this background, but it didn't take too much time, and I think it'll be more seamless that way. So I'm just going to pop you on high speed now while I get that attached, and then I'll come back to you. So there's my front piece partly assembled. I'm going to add more to this in a little bit, but I just wanted to get that attached and let it dry. So now we'll work on the slider pieces. So I'm going to take my side panels here and attach the ink blended background. So the matte layers are now attached. I've cut 4 fence pieces, and I want to attach those now to make sure that it doesn't catch on anything once we've assembled, and I do want a cow in the background as well. So I'm going to attach my fence pieces like so. We'll be trimming them down slightly so it'll fit on the panel, and I'll attach the cows, and then we'll work on the mechanism. So there's the fence and the cows attached there. Just going to let that dry, so we'll work on the mechanism piece. So you've got the 4 slots, and you want to take this piece here and you just want to thread it through the slots like so. So I've gone underneath this piece and underneath this piece. You want to place it at the very top and fold the sides over. So you don't want it too snug, because this is what will slide back and forth and help the side panels come in and out. So once you're happy with that, you want to glue it in place. So you want a small amount of glue, you don't want anything to ooze out, and you want to attach that piece down, and then a little bit more glue for the top piece there. Just going to give that a chance to grab, and as you can see, it moves up and down like so. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the next piece. So we're going to start attaching our slider pieces now. So I like to think of it in opposites. So if we're using the right hand panel to pull out this way, you want to attach it to the left hand side there, like so. So again, a small amount of glue on this piece. You can spread it out if you want. Make sure it doesn't ooze out anyway, as I said. you want to make sure that that's straight. So you can use your slots there as a guide, and then it moves up and down like so. And then you do the same with the opposite side. So I'm working on the left hand piece and the tab needs to be on the right hand side. So now we'll start to put everything together. So I've got my largest white square. This is the back of the card. So that will go like so. Any panel left or right is fine. So you want to flip it over and you want to add some foam. I've got these thin strips from Amazon and they need to go either side of the mechanism. Now I haven't seen Sam do this on a previous tutorials. I can't see it affecting the mechanism, so I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to just add some foam in the center there to prevent it from dipping. So I'm going to remove the backing tape. And place that in the center of my largest square. Like so. Yep, that looks good. Then we want to take the smallest square that we cut and attach it so it acts as a barrier between these two pieces. So I'm just going to run a foam strip along there. And a foam strip along there. And then you want to aim to center that piece like so. And then we're going to do the same then on the right hand piece. So you want to line that up in the center as best as possible and have a similar overhang to the other side. So I think that looks about right. And then 2 more foam strips. One there and one there. Just check that this is working okay. Happy with that. And then you want to marry up the front piece with the back piece so everything is hidden inside. Like so. So I'm going to work on the final decoration now. So I've got some additional images cut. So I think I'm going to do something like that. The images on the front, you can use foam. I wouldn't suggest adding foam to any of these images. I've already got some dimension, but I think once I stick those down, they should be okay. So you want to make sure that they're well covered and the edges don't catch. So I almost forgot to add the stand. In fact, I finished the video, put everything to one side and realised I was left with this piece. So I had to come back now and refilm, add in the stand and the final part. So we've got this piece here. As I said, I've reinforced the score lines and it's a simple fold. So the first, as you look at it, you've got the 1/2 inch tab here on the right hand side. So the first fold is a mountain fold. The second fold is also a mountain fold, then a valley, and then a mountain. So essentially you're sort of creating this shape. You add glue to this tab and attach them together then, and this forms the stand. So just adding glue along that piece there. So you can attach it either way, but if you attach it with the tab here on the back, you can see it, whereas if you attach it this way, you don't really notice the tab. But as I said, it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to add Collal glue along the back panel here. So I've placed it on my card, but I have left just a little gap there, not too much. So I've just gone in with my bone folder and burnished the back of that to help it grab better. So it stands up like so. You pull the side pieces. So I'll just hold it up to the front of the camera so you can see it a little bit better. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. And it just closes back up like so. So I hope you've enjoyed today's card. If you have, you might want to hit the like button, leave a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel. Any products used in today's video will be listed in the description box below. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!